Barely gave me time to eat. My goodness. But I'm here. If you have a question, by all means, ask it. Welcome to Ron, newest channel supporter. Appreciate it. I wonder if robo revenue will ever grow enough that we will consider offering dividends. So, yes, at some point, these revenues will get insane to the point where there's no more stuff to buy. And what are they going to do? Maybe some buybacks? Maybe some dividends? At some point, you have to, right? Wouldn't make sense otherwise. How is everybody? Had a fun experience yesterday. Just wanted to share this real quick. Got recognized on the plane by Jim. This gentleman, Jim, was like, I watch your channel. Is there a black line across that picture? Or is that on my monitor? Nope, it looks fine. So that was very exciting. And he's like, I didn't know there was going to be famous people. Did I not share it? Was I sharing it? You'll have to tell me. Share it. Yep, I was sharing it. He said, I didn't know there was going to be somebody famous on the plane. And then everybody else got to, because it was while we were getting off the plane, everyone else got to stand around and go, wait, is this guy famous? Because he doesn't look famous. He looks very sleepy. Am I sure I want to be famous? I love being a micro celebrity. It's wonderful. I can still get away with committing crimes without people saying, identify the guy. It was Brian. So, which is great. Because if there's one thing you know about me, it's that I just love crime. Yeah, I'm good at it. What are my crimes? Boy, I'd like to know. Haven't thought of any good ones yet. But yeah, in the comments, let me know crimes. That's a good question. We'll get back to that in a second. Let's see. Big, huge, massive news, Brian. Yeah, I got to work on getting the thumbnail updated more often than never. Let's see. And I did, just get back from Mexico yesterday. That was a long day. Why is the whole market suddenly nosedived? Nick was able to address that right at the top of the show. Bond market, bond sales did not go well. Yes. Despite 2 poor performance interviews from Elon, who desperately needs a PR team, some good Robotaxi news. It's interesting. The interviews he does are universally with people who don't know how the company works, what it does, how to ask. These are people who are professional interviewers, but don't know the first thing about Tesla and what it does. Very, very disappointing. But that's what he does. If I don't get 75,000 or better yet, 100,000 subscribers, I will unleash the dad joke apocalypse. I think I have to. I just don't think there's a second option. Somebody asked me recently, are you going to hit 100,000 this year? And the answer is no. I might hit 80,000 this year, but I don't do the cheerleading. I don't do the rah-rah stuff. There's big money in taking extreme positions, and I don't. I follow the facts. Could use some new dad jokes. Well, do you know when a joke becomes a dad joke? When it becomes apparent. What's the leading cause of dry skin? Towels. Oh, okay. They have to be vaguely funny, right? It was vaguely funny. Why do the Optimus videos show up on X before YouTube? It's what Elon wants. X is his baby, so he gives his baby special treatment. X is his Nepo baby. That's why I don't get to watch Starlink launches anymore. I used to watch them all because I would get a notification on YouTube. I don't get notifications on X. I've watched maybe 2 or 3 launches live since that changeover, where I used to watch 2 or 3 a week. And I think it's a real disservice to SpaceX fans. Clean as you go, Optimus. Come on. Oh, let's see. How is everybody, by the way? And how is the sound? I'm assuming the sound is fine. Otherwise, the chat would be lighting up. hmm hmm I'm going to let that one go, David. There is no robotaxi. There is no robot, just scams. All right, man. Whatever makes you feel better. These things are real. Uh, just like there is no Model 3. It'll never happen. The Model Y, that's never going to happen. Model 3 for 35,000 will never happen. Well, it did. And adjusted for inflation, you can get a Model 3 for less than 35,000 from that original initial announced price in 2017. 2017, whenever it was. Um, whenever it was announced that, well, it'll be 35,000. Adjusted for inflation, it's cheaper than that. And it's a whole lot more car than they were offering you for 35,000. So, I mean, come on. It's you can doubt these things if you'd like, but where's the criticism for GM and Audi and all the other companies that said within 5 years we're going to have 30 electric cars that are going to be better than Tesla, cheaper than Tesla, faster, charge better? Why don't why don't you go harass them and say, why did you lie to us? Even when GM came out with that big battery day kind of presentation, what, 2, 3 years ago, and they said, this is the future. This is what we're doing. And I looked at it and said, BS. That is a load of BS. This is stock manipulation. And it was. It made the company look very good with absolute lies. If you're not criticizing them for that, your criticisms don't matter. Let's see. The vehicles could be remotely monitored and controlled without a driver behind the wheel. Yep, that's what we're expecting. I wonder how the average jury decide well between human and FSD's fault. Mathematically. Mathematically. Um, the beauty is there's black boxes involved. I wish they started with FSD food deliveries instead. Yeah, yeah. Uh, hard to have a good ride without the tip. Yeah, I'm very frustrated. My rating on Uber is 4.82 when I got to Mexico. So what I would do to try and get that up is every single ride, I would give a generous cash tip, not through the app where they don't know who left the tip or when, but cash in your hand. And by the end of the trip, after doing 20, 30 rides, my rating increased from 4.82 to 4.83. Ugh. And if your rating gets too low, people stop picking you up. And all it takes to get a bad rating is to shut the door not right, or just maybe the guy's having a bad day. Don't know. Waymo's cooked. Waymo can do airport shuttles and boring tunnels. Lol. Yeah. Yeah, Waymo. That's a good idea. Pivot to airport shuttles. It'd be great. It'd be great for it. I think I think a cyber cab is the wrong tool for getting you from the economy lot to the airport. I think the density isn't high enough, um, unless it was just running the regular loop, but with a robo van. Integrating the Tesla app with the X app might be a political mistake. Absolutely. But I'm not saying integrate those two apps. I'm saying advertise the rides. You can get a ride on the Didi app in China, or you can just get it straight through the WeChat app. You don't need the Didi app. It might be confusing Didi Pay with WeChat Pay, but you can have them exist in two places. Or it would just say, or just advertise on X. Just have a tab that says ride. When you click on it, it says you have to put in the Tesla app. I have too many freaking apps on my phone. Agree. I went to a restaurant in Mexico and they wanted me to use their QR code to get the menu. And if I hadn't been under the weather, I would have just said nah and left. But I was under the weather and I couldn't keep walking. Uh, so uh, so I so I clicked on it and it was a link to a Google Drive document with their menu. Oh, come on. Come on. One app to rule them all, soon to be available in Neuralink form. Herbert, slow down so we can see what the figure bot is doing. Free the Tesla up once they can. Any updates on AI 5? No. We know that that it'll happen, but we don't know anything else. Biggest news is Elon's first million CPU data center near Memphis. That's massive. General AI will be here soon, folks. Be Nice popped in at the last minute. Be Nice was over in Herbert's chat. Anyone heard of the robots driving the taxis until FSD unsupervised is figured out on a global scale? It'll be started next month. I had mentioned that a while back. I said, if the robots can do everything, they can drive cars. And someone said, Brian, why would they drive cars? Why? I didn't mean cars. I meant like old farm equipment. Old farm equipment. Do you really need to replace the tractor? I just need to move it to the other side of the field. Optimus, move the tractor. I don't know. Anyone heard of robots? Okay, so we'll jump back over here. This is the chat for this show. Again, Ron, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Interesting. I get so much more support on YouTube and Patreon. Not very much on X. I don't promote X on YouTube because X has a real problem with imposter accounts, many of which I've reported dozens of times over months, and people still, and they're still there. They're still out contacting people, pretending to be me. Very frustrating. And we're back. Hello again, B. Hello, Matthew, and everybody. Let's see. Did he call you Brian Wang? I don't know. Sometimes Randy does that. Sometimes Grok confuses me for Brian Wang. That's weird. But it's because we look so much alike and we are related phonetically. Do you think Robotaxi will drop in the first week of June? That's the question, isn't it? I saw something official mentioning some kind of countdown to June, and it was counting down to the start of June. I don't know. I think they're targeting the first week of June, but it may not be the first week of June. Think about buying a really cheap early Model 3 with FSD is a good deal. Do you think Tesla will upgrade hardware 3 cars that were bought from third parties? Yes. If FSD is on it, if the car, it doesn't matter who bought the car, if FSD is on that car and it is determined that hardware 3 is insufficient, you will be made whole. They may upgrade it for free or find something else to compensate you. Because, yeah, that would be a good way. And the resale value on purchased FSD is abysmal. So if you find a car that's $22,000 and it has FSD with hardware 3, it might only be $23,000, $24,000. So that's one way to do it. I think the real limiting factor will be how quickly they can expand wireless charging. I don't think that is, especially with Cybercab having limited range compared to pricier models. I don't think that's a limiting factor at all. I think those will be very easy to deploy. I think you could plug one into an existing supercharger and charge 2 Cybercabs from it because there's no liquid cooling required. The charge rate is low enough that it won't require liquid cooling. So I don't think that's going to be the limiting factor. I think the limiting factor is Jordan Giesecke, who I love to bits, who will be joining us in Michigan at the big event there. Let's see if I've got that tab open. I do. Summer meetup. And who are the speakers? Sandy's going to be there. Sue may be there. There is some question about her schedule. I'll be there. Kelvin from the Silicon Valley Club. Bearded Tesla Guy, Jim Spencer, the Iowa Tesla Guy, John from the Silicon Valley Club, Dirty Tesla, Nancy and Raphael from the Tesla Tinos, Bradford Ferguson and Matt Smith, Larry Goldberg, Jordan Giesecke, Jan from Tesla Fix, Josh West 24/7, Dr. Know-It-All, Mark Coughlin, got to get a picture of him, and David from Teslavelt, the largest German language podcast about Tesla, and Simon. And there's one more addition that isn't on here because I've just added him. Tech Geek Tesla will be joining us as well. Join us, won't you? Join us, won't you? Are you sure you want to be famous? Yeah. Oh, by the way, if I asked you guys how you're doing, I haven't heard any answers. How is everybody doing? Only at the 15-minute mark, so we've got a little bit of opportunity to chat. Mm, I'm wondering if yes, we already got that. Good to see everyone. Good to see you, DRK. Uh-huh. What is your sense of the Chinese products like, uh, like cars being in Mexico? Seems like Mexico is a nice beachhead for Chinese products. They're doing really well. There are electric buses in Mexico City, most of which are BYD. They're wonderful. They're quiet. They're smooth. They don't belch fumes into the already not fantastic air. It was crazy seeing uh, how quiet it's gotten. It's gotten a little quiet. Mexico City is still very, very loud, but the e-scooters are there. E-bikes are starting to get there. The electric cars, BYD was telling me at the location that I was at, that they're already moving over 100 cars a month. That's not that many. 3 cars a day, it's really not that many. But they were very excited. And they're still selling mostly hybrids because the charging infrastructure in Mexico hasn't caught up yet. A lot of people do not have access to charging at home, but these cars are selling, especially for rideshare. I must have ridden in 3 or 4 electric cars, and I would ask them, "What do you think?" And the answer is they're so cheap to operate. Gas is probably 4.50 a gallon there versus electricity, which is nowhere close to that. Unless you're constantly public charging, in which case it could be less competitive. Um, and the BYD Seal, which I did get to drive in Mexico, scary driving situation. You got to be very aggressive. The BYD Seal is significantly cheaper than a Tesla Model 3. So the Model 3 still, I'm sure, outsells it for now. Just enable notifications for SpaceX on X. No, my phone has too many notifications as it is. I'm not doing it because they publish a lot of stuff that isn't launches. If SpaceX doesn't want me to watch their launches, I'm not going to watch their launches. They don't owe me that, and I don't owe them that either. Um, I've had a lot of people say, "Well, there's a lot of ways you can tweak X to make it work." No, if it doesn't work, that's their problem. I would, if they don't want me to see it, to heck with them. Oh, how are we doing? No one will tell me. That must make me think that you guys are doing so well that the rest of us would be jealous if we found out. And I get it. I appreciate that. I'm glad we finally got to hear Elon talking about the importance of self-play in regards to Optimus. Yeah, that's an important element of AI training. There was a video I'd seen years ago about AI that was trained to combat itself in a particular game, and they just let it run, figure it out, and it would come up with all these accidentally brilliant solutions, and then they would change the rules of the game a bit so that it didn't work anymore, just to see what would happen. Fascinating. But to see that take place in the real world with physical objects, I think it's going to be fascinating. This is a very exciting time. Is it a terrifying time? Maybe. We may look back at this and go, what were we thinking? Too soon to say. Good day to buy Tesla? Don't know. Couldn't tell you. I don't deal with anyone who tells you that they know how the market works and what's going to happen next is guessing or lying. That's why even the best, most famous fund managers often don't beat the market. You would think that with all that knowledge, with 24/7 access to sometimes teams of advisors, they still, on average, don't outperform the market. Technically, Tesla did mention that they will upgrade hardware 3. Yes, that's correct. If it's required. Do you think, and good news, it's like, well, but what if I buy it and then they don't upgrade it because it doesn't need it? Good news, it doesn't need it. You got it. Do you think Tesla will be able to make enough batteries for both the new models and the robot? So first of all, the robot, absolutely. The robot takes almost no batteries. They could build tens of thousands of them wouldn't be a drop in the bucket. Think of how few batteries it takes compared to, say, one semi. The semi is what worries me. It takes a lot of batteries. It takes like 10, 12 cars worth of Model Y batteries. So, yes, can they ramp batteries quick enough to handle the more affordable model? My guess is yes. And it would probably be cell agnostic, where they could buy from others. I think it's Panasonic who's got a 4680 plant coming online a month or two ago. Maybe they will be buying batteries from them for that, because it's not a tabless model like they use in the Cybertruck, which allows for a great transfer of juice. It is, I want to say, a 5-tab or 3-tab model. So the ability to rapidly discharge would be diminished, but not enough that it wouldn't be a viable product. It just might not be viable in a high performance product. I really hope the new affordable model is a new car. Me too. If it is just a decontented Model 3 or Y, I'm going to be pretty disappointed. Tesla said it's costly to upgrade. That's why they are removing FSD from all used vehicles before they resell them. Are they? If you buy a Tesla certified pre-owned Model 3 with hardware 3, they won't sell you FSD? I'm sure they would. My space is super cold, but doing well. How about you? My space, not super cold, but I just got back from Mexico, so it feels cold. Yeah. It's like 65 in here. It's quite reasonable. Still trying to get to Starbase in Austin. If you guys haven't been to Starbase, you must go. Access will not be as good as this. Will never be better than it is today. You can get so close to them. It's just wonderful. X needs some of these new features. X needs a lot. Don't ever change your theme song. It's the best one out there. It's short. It's punchy. It's to the point. Some people complain, but some people complain about everything. What are your top 3 benchmarks on progress for Cybercab? I only have one. Does it work? It's the only one that matters. Does it work? Once it works, we're done. That's it. Oh, okay. If you got any last second comments, get them in now, because we got through it. And yeah, I'm tired. Still tired. Did get a good night's sleep, but not enough sleep. Got to deal with all that. Now just prepping for the big show in Michigan. Got to get all my speakers on the same page and all that. I am a lead coordinator for that event. I've been the Michigan Club was gracious enough to adopt me 3 years ago, and so I've been working with them tirelessly to repay the kindness, because they're wonderful people. Guys, in the comments, what did I miss? What did I misunderstand? Leave it. Thank you to the new member, Ron. Thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon and YouTube and X. You're the reason the channel can keep going. YouTube revenue alone is not not enough for me alone, let alone having to pay the editor on top of that. And thank you to all you guys. I really do appreciate you. And stay tuned, stay juicy. I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots on the flippity flop.